Okay, guys, it's November and we are starting our class. Anything anybody want to say before the class to anybody, or we just jump right in?
Let's jump in.
Jumping in then. All right, so always when I start the news, I'm giving you the version that you should have on your phone, and that should be 18.1. That's iOS 18.1. It's a good version. You're never going to get a bug-free version, but this one has less bugs. And the ones that it has, you can live with. They're not really bad. So that's our guy, 18.1. There was a news item about Apple's disappearing notes. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about that. There are a few people that had a problem with their notes disappearing. And no fear. If that happened to you, your notes aren't gone, they're just not syncing, and you have to go in into Apple, into iCloud, and then Notes, and be sure that that switch is on to sync. Once you do that, if you have this problem, then your notes will reappear again. They'll get resynced back to the cloud. So that's what happened to Shirley Jackson, and she got that working. So she's living proof that that worked. So yeah, so if you have notes and they're gone for some reason, don't panic. They're just in the cloud. They're not syncing properly. Just remember that. The next news item. So for you guys who have been on Twitter and now it's X, and if you don't like where it's going, well, the guy who developed Twitter, Jack Dorsey, excuse me, he's creating a Twitter clone called Blue Sky. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. So a lot of people are flooding to that because it's so much like the old Twitter, and it's not like the way X is now. So that's a place to go if you miss the old Twitter days and you want that same experience. And it's being developed by the same guy, ironically. That's kind of funny. So it's called Blue Sky, all one word. And it's a social media thing. You can download it for iOS and Android and all that good stuff. All right, next news item. Let me get down there. Hang on a second. I'm getting my ducks in a row here. Does anybody know who Elward Edwards is? Anybody heard of him?
No.
No.
I'm sure you heard his voice because he was the guy that recorded that you got mail in AOL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So unfortunately, the news is bad. He just died, and he was 74. That's the sad news item today. So his name is Elward Edwards, EE. Let's see what else we have. Apple introduced a auto reboot security security in 18. So what it does is after 3 days of inactivity, it will automatically reboot the phone into before the lock screen. And what this was designed to do is if your phone goes missing or stolen, it puts it in a more protective state before you log in. So if someone took your phone or if you left it somewhere, if they don't have any activity, meaning they're in the phone doing something, the phone will auto reboot, and then they're going to be back at the login screen. And it's really a lot of complaints have come through from the FBI who grab these iPhones from perpetrators, and it auto reboots, and then they can't get in there at all because they're so secure. So it's a good thing unless you're an FBI agent, then it's not a good thing. So that's just another security measure that Apple put into place to protect your privacy. And even privacy of bad guys, they don't discriminate. Let's see. What did I say here? Apple. Hang on a second. Let me get down there. Oh, sorry. I don't want to say. So this last Apple event, it was just a quickie little event. They introduced a whole new line of their desktop computers, including drastic changes to their Mac Mini, which happens to be the computer I'm using here for this meeting, the one that's filming me and the one that's in this meeting. So what they did is they made it even smaller. So if you can imagine a full-blown computer that does everything. It's about the size of like like 3 slices of bread stacked on top of each other, like the size of a sandwich. That's how big it is now. And it's their lowest price computer. It starts at 600, but if you deck it out all the way with memory and everything else, you can get up to about $5,000. So,
Oh, gee, I'll just give it to you.
Yeah. And so for $600, you get the case. Is that it?
no, yeah,
You get
that's
the
right.
mouse.
Well, you get the base
That's
model.
right.
6,000. I don't think you meant 6,000.
What's that?
I said you said 6,000. I don't think you meant that.
No. You can
600.
buy it for 600, but if you do all the upgrades, get all the fast stuff, fast processor, this and that and the other, you can bring it up from 600 all the way to $5,000. That's how much you can customize it. But it's a very small unit and it works really well. And
You have one?
I have the bigger one, the one before this. So
Oh,
dimension wise, the one I have is 7 by 7 by about an inch. Looks like a little flat square thing. This one is only 5 by 5 by 1 inch. So it's really about the
Wow.
size of a piece of bread with like 3 pieces of bread stacked on top of each other. And it's plenty powerful. It does everything. Video editing, all this good stuff. So if you're interested in a computer that has everything you need, including stuff to read Word documents and everything without paying more, you could just get a $600 Apple Mac Mini, hook it up to your existing monitor and keyboard, and you're good to go. And it'll work very well. So even their base model is really good, $600 model. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So any questions about the news items? I think that does it for our news items. Okay. So the emerging technology section, has anybody heard of solid state batteries?
no.
Okay.
No.
So batteries are always evolving. And right now, the batteries that we use, and actually all the batteries we've used in the past, have a liquid inside of them.
Right.
Not getting too much into physics, that's called an electrolyte, and it's a liquid. So these batteries can corrode and leak and all this good stuff. Well, the solid state batteries have a solid instead. It's a solid inside, so there's no leaking there, and it holds more energy. So a solid is more dense than a liquid, so it holds more energy. And what they're doing when they're designing it, they're making them where they're not flammable at all. So these are much safer batteries that last longer. So they're working on that, and they're looking to mass produce them within a year or so. So maybe our newer phones that come out and Tesla cars and everything else will have these solid state batteries. Now, the one thing that they haven't been able to fix is the degradation of the battery. So as we talked about a few months ago or last month, batteries over time degrade when you charge them. These degrade less. And so that's one good thing. And that'll be good for a car or your phone. So your battery will last longer. It won't degrade as fast. And they're also looking at changing up some of the stuff that makes up the solid part. They're not going to be using as much cobalt or hardly any. So that's going to save on tearing up the environment to get some of these raw materials like cobalt. Because if you ever noticed, mining cobalt and lithium is pretty intense on the environment.
Yeah.
However, I think they're still going to be using some type of lithium in there. So anyway, it's still in flux. I'm just letting you know in case you hear about it, you know that it's on the horizon. Everything's always evolving and getting better. One hopes. So that's basically what I had for that. So let me just make sure. Oh, and then the final thing about the battery is that being a solid, they work over a wider temperature range. So they can start using these batteries in hotter places or colder places instead of it being more in the middle. Because the batteries right now, if it gets too cold or too hot, they start not working as well. So, all right, let me get to the first topic, unless there's any questions. All right. Okay, topics. Okay, so the first topic I have is what Barbara and I and us we were talking about before the class. Scheduling a text message to be sent in the future.
Oh, good.
Oh, great! I'm glad somebody's interested.
Well, I'm up late, a lot of times till 3 in the morning, and I don't send messages at 3 in the morning.
Oh, oh, is this Nancy?
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy. So yeah,
Hi.
I'm going to go over that, and then the second topic is going to be related. I'm going to show you how to do that with emails as well. So we're going to go over one and then the next one.
Wonderful.
So scheduling a text message means you can draft the text message, and then you can have the phone automatically send it at a later date or time. So
Will it
let's
prompt
say,
us?
oh, sorry.
Will it prompt us?
Yes, when you do that, and I'm going to show you how, you will get you have to press a certain button when I get there, and then you'll get the thing that says send later, and then you'll tap on that, you'll choose the date and time or just the time, and then it'll sit there and it'll be pending until it sends.
Oh, wonderful.
It'll still show in the conversation, but it'll show pending because it won't send it until you're ready, until the time comes.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful.
without further ado, let me get over there. So let me get my phone and make sure it's loud enough and all this good stuff. Hang on a second.
They must read my mind.
All right, let me just
Uber Eats.
turn this up a little bit.
Safari.
You guys hear that okay?
News.
Yes.
Double PBS.
There we go. That's probably loud enough. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open messages because that's what we're going to talk about first, text messages. Siri? Open messages.
Messages. Barbara McPherson. Hey, Barbara, what do you?
All right, so I'm going to pick on Barbara. I'm going to send her a message that's going to go later to her. It's going to be scheduled for later. So let me open her conversation up. I'm in the conversation screens that have all your conversations. That's where you should be. And then I'm going to double tap on Barbara here.
Messages. Your iMessage.
Now, what you do is you draft your messages normal. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and just
message. This is a test. Insertion point at end.
So I'm gonna put that in. This is a test. Boom, boom, there it is.
Message. Text field is editing. This is a test.
There it is.
Character mode.
Now, when you want to send it later, you have to go to this button to the left of your message. Okay, and it's right here. It's called
Apps button.
APPS, apps. So you double tap on that.
Messages. Camera.
Okay, and
double tap and hold.
Hang on a second. So what this normally does, it allows you to add more content like a photo or blah, blah, blah. But ironically, you can also send it later from here. Instead of it being behind the send button where it should be, it's here in apps for some reason. So I'm going to swipe to the right to get down to that option. I'm going to do that now.
Photos. Stickers. Apple Cash. Audio. Send later.
Send later.
Double tap and hold. Then drag to reorder menu items.
Well,
Actions available.
I'm just going to double tap on it.
Messages. Apps. Button.
And then what it does, it puts up a picker at the bottom. It didn't say that, but that's what it did. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the screen and pick a date and time. So go down.
Messages. Your tomorrow message. Wed. November 20th. Picker item. Adjustable.
So this guy.
Swipe up or down with one finger. Wed. November 20th. Picker item. Adjustable.
So if I want to set it for Wednesday tomorrow, I'll leave it there. If not, I can swipe up or down to change the day. So I'll show you that.
Thursday, November 20th. Today.
Right. So swiping down takes the date backwards. Swiping up goes in the future. So we'll go today and let's see here. Now, next to the day, I have to swipe to the right to go to the time. So the hour, I think, is the first field.
6 o'clock. Selected. Picker item. Adjustable. 6 of 12.
So let's
swipe up or down with one.
Let's make it 7 and a little bit. I don't know what time it is right now. It's probably 6 something.
55 minutes. 6 o'clock. Select.
I'm gonna set it for 7 p.m. in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna
6:55.
yeah, it's 6:55 now, but I'm gonna send it in 5 minutes. I'm gonna have it send it in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go to 7.
6 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Well,
7:55
6:54.
minutes. Selected.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to check find 00 here.
56 minutes. 50 not 00 minutes. 1 p.m. Selected. Picker item. Adjustable.
And that's it.
2.
All you got to do is go up now to the send button, double tap it, and it will stay in there until 7 o'clock, and then Barbara will get it at 7. So what I'm going to do is go up above this thing with my finger.
Message. Today 7 p.m. Messages. Messages. Your iMessage. Delivered. Heading left. Vertical scroll. Apps. But today 7 p.m. Message. This is send button.
Send button.
Send user. Send message. Send dictate button.
Now it shows up in the conversation, but right below it, it says this thing.
Today 7 p.m. button.
So that's what
Double
it's
tap
saying.
to change date. Actions.
It's saying that the text that I sent her, this is a test, the text that I sent her, but then below it, it says when it's going to send it. And I can change that if I want to up it to 7:10 or tomorrow. And when the time comes, that will go away and it'll say delivered or not delivered if it doesn't go through. And that is how you schedule a text message. Any questions on that?
What was the name of the thing you said with the left? Are you saying attached or app?
No, it's spelled A as in apple, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, S as in Sam.
Oh,
APS.
apps.
And what that does, that button, it allows you to attach pictures and all kinds of stuff, but it also allows you to send later. That's what we chose. And then when you choose send later, you get a date time picker at the bottom. So you just set your date and time, and then voila, hit send, and then it will send it later on. So I don't know what time it is now. Let's see.
6 p.m.
So
Status bar.
In about 4 minutes, Barbara, you'll be getting that message from me.
Okay.
Message.
So if there's no more questions, I'll move on to doing the same thing in an email message. So let's say that you have a desire to schedule an email for later. You got to get something out in the morning or whatever it is, and you don't want to get up early and do the email. Well, you can make the other side believe you did and get a little bit extra sleep. So I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to close this because Barbara should get it at 7. Let me know if you don't get it, Barbara, or you get it.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to close this all up.
App switcher. Messages. App messages. Act message 00 minutes. Select.
Sorry. Hang on a second.
App switcher. Messages. Messages. Close.
All right. Now I'm going to open up mail and do kind of the same thing, except the magic button is going to be the send button. I double tap and hold that one, and then it will come up. So I'm going to go to mail. Siri, open mail.
New message. Drafts. Mailboxes.
Let me make Siri a little bit louder. She was kind of soft there, so you can't hear her. Hang on a second. Siri, what's the weather report?
It's currently clear and 55 degrees. Temperatures are heading down from 55 to 46 degrees tonight.
All right. All right. Now she's loud enough. Okay. So
Patrick Long.
what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap on the compose button. And you have to do this with gestures. I don't think you can do it with the S lady. Like send this in the future to blah, blah, blah. I don't think that works. I haven't tried it, but I don't think that would work. So you go down to compose, which is the lower right in your mail app. And this only works with a mail app. If you're using like a different mail client, like Gmail or something instead of mail, I don't think it's going to work. It only works with the Apple provided app. So we'll go down there, lower right.
Toolbar. Compose. Button. 2. Text field.
Okay, and I'll send it to Barbara since I'm picking on her. So we'll do that. So I'm just going to type B.
B.
A.
A. Results. Beth Anderson, Barbara McPherson,
There it is.
Jeanette Furso at AOL.
Barbara
Barbara
McPherson.
McPherson. Jeanette.
And I'll just do test on the subject, I think.
Subject. Text field.
Open that
Double
up.
tap to edit. Insertion point.
Test email.
Inserted test email. Message content. Message insertion point at stop.
For the body, I'll just dictate something in there, a little funny maybe. Hi, Barbara, ellipsis. If you can read this comma, you're too close. Exclamation mark.
Inserted hi, Barbara. If you can read this, you're too close.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the send button, and that's where the magic is. Normally, if you double tap the send button, it sends it immediately, but we want to send it in the future. So we're going to double tap and hold, just like we did in the text message app. So we're going to find the send button.
Test email, heading send button.
So I'm going to double tap and hold that.
Send now button.
So send now is the default option.
Send 9 p.m. tonight button.
Hey, I just got the message.
Okay, great. So that's a text message. That shows you that that works. So now I've got send 9 o'clock tonight. It gives me some default options for the mail thing.
Send 8 a.m. tomorrow button.
Some default stuff. I'll just go to the same thing that we did before.
Send later button.
So I'm going to use a send later option to customize that date and time. I'll do that now.
Cancel button.
So it gives me a little bit different thing. So it's got a full calendar display, and I'm going to come down and see what date is selected. So let's go down.
Selected today, Tuesday, November 19th button.
And then I got to find the place that has the time. So I'm going to do that.
November 19th, 7 p.m. button.
So
collapsed.
What I'm going to do is
I'm going to
send it in about 5 minutes to Barbara. So I'm going to double tap on 7 p.m. and then I'm going to just change it to 7:05.
7 p.m. expanded.
So I have a picker down here.
7 o'clock. Picker item 00 minutes. Picker item adjustable 1 of 60.
So I'm going to adjust that.
01 minute, 02 minutes, 03 minutes, 04 minutes, 05 minutes, PM, picker item, adjustable.
And that's it. And then all I got to do is I think it's, you have to hit done first. I'm not sure. Let me see here.
This message will done button.
So I've already,
back button.
I've just sent it, and that's it. That's as simple as that. It's done when you choose the time instead of just send. So, and that's how that works. Compose, fill it out, double tap and hold the send button, choose send later, pick the date and time, and then done. So I know it's real fast, but that's the long and the short of it. That's how you send an email in the future. Any questions on either of those? All right, we're going to continue on. So there's an app that Barbara turned me on to. It's called AIRA. IRA, I think it's called. And what it does, it's basically like another Be My Eyes kind of app. And it has volunteers if you want. And it's got the AI function just like Be My Eyes. Now, when you download it from the App Store, just like any other app, you got to give them your phone number or your email, and then you got to give them your first and last name, and then you're done. And I believe the way this app works is that you get the first 5 minutes for free. If you want to use more than that when you're calling, especially when you're calling somebody to help you, the first 5 minutes free. And then after that, I think you pay, or you can get some credits of some kind. They offer some stuff in the app that you can get where you don't have to pay. But the real gem here is that it has AI in it, just like Be My Eyes. So what I'll do is show you that function, because that's the one you'll be using the most. But you do have a call a volunteer function as well. And it's laid out just like Be My Eyes. In fact, they're so close, it's scary. So I'm going to open that app up and then just go through it real quick, recognizing something. Okay. Let me do that.
7:04 p.m.
Okay.
Mail.
So Barbara, in about a minute, you'll be getting that email. I don't know if it notifies you. So, okay, let me close this.
Home.
Where is it on?
Page 2 of 5. Search. Page 3. Page 4 of page 5 of 5. Iron Explorer.
So the app is called
Double tap to
IRA
open.
Explorer. And when the app refers to you and me, we're called explorers. So that's what they call us. So just so you know. So I'm going to open this app up.
Iron Explorer.
Explorers.
Okay, and what it does, since I was using the AI function before, that tab on the bottom is already selected. And here are the tabs at the bottom, including the one that I'm currently on. So the first tab is
Detail Capture button.
I haven't played with that yet. I don't know what that really does. I'm just kind of introducing it tonight. If I see something in this detail capture that's really noteworthy, I'll show it again next month. I just haven't investigated that too far.
Choose from gallery button.
So I don't know what that is.
Browse chat history. Access AI preferences. Home. Tab 1 of 4 button.
There's home.
Selected. Access AI. Tab 2 of 4
Hmm.
button.
That's akin to Be My AI and Be My Eyes. Same thing. And there's more here.
Usage. Tab 3 of 4, but more. Tab 4 of 4.
So usage and more. Usage, I assume, is just your history, and more is probably a lot to do with settings. So we currently have this one selected.
Selected. Access AI. Tab 2 of 4 button.
Now, what's nice about this is that you don't have to find a button. The viewfinder is just about the entire screen. And when you get it to where you want it, wherever you're pointing it, all you have to do is just tap on the screen somewhere. So you have to put focus on the viewfinder first to do that.
Quick capture and send button.
So quick capture and send. So I'm going to point at something, maybe just a screen in front of me, and see what it does. So I double tap on the screen.
Quick capture and send.
And give it a
Access
second.
AI is typing. A computer set up with a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. The monitor displays text with the words app, Iron Explorer, ellipsis, and multiple timers, ellipsis, visible. On top of the monitor is a ring light, which is illuminated. The keyboard has backlit keys, and there is a mouse to the right of the keyboard. The desk also has some other items, including a remote control and a power adapter. The lighting in the room is dim, with the ring light providing the primary source of illumination.
So I just wish I had more
Actions
detail.
available.
So there you go. It's pretty good. And that's scene description, but it also found text on the screen, which is why I did that. And it read you the text. So if you have text on a computer screen, just like Be My Eyes, you can have it look at it and read the text to you almost. And of course, it'll do that with documents and anything else. So it's another tool to have in your arsenal. And again, it's called AIRA. That's how it's spelled. And it's AIRA and then the word Explorer. You get that from your app store. Any questions on this one?
A couple of things.
Okay.
These are professional trained interpreters. So these are all trained people. These are not volunteers. These are people they pay and they do training and all that. So that's one advantage of IRA is that if you had something like a bank statement or something like that, it would be safe for them to read it. They're all bonded and so forth. The other thing I want to say is they have a program called Build My AI. And if you fill it out, that the disadvantage is that everything you do will be recorded because they want to learn from it. But the advantage is that you get 10 minutes every week to use for free. So you might want to look at that Build an AI, and then you'll have a lot more minutes that you can use on IRA. The other thing about IRA, it's free in certain places.
Screen dim.
When you go to Target, it's free. When you go to Starbucks, it's free. And if you use it at Tucson Airport, it's also free.
Yep, that's what I read too. Yep. So it's a good tool, like I said, and what she said is exactly right. So definitely take a look at that. It's free, so it's nothing to lose.
This is Patty. How do they determine, locations for being free?
It uses your GPS. When you first turn it on, it asks you for location, and if you want that stuff that Barbara's talking about, you gotta give it access to your location while using the app, and then it knows you're at Tucson Airport or wherever, and then
Oh,
Yeah.
so it probably would notify you if it's free or not, maybe.
I haven't
And
tried
it's
that
not
yet.
gonna notify you of what, Patty?
She said it probably notifies you whether it's free or not, and I don't know the answer to that because I haven't tried that yet. So, but I'm sure it does. I'm sure, yeah, it'll just let you use it, and you won't have a restriction at all. So,
They
Okay.
do have subscriptions that you can sign up for so many minutes a month,
right.
but I don't know what the rates are.
So there you go. I think it's a nice tool to have. So that's kind of what I like about it, to have more options instead of less. So we've been talking about in the past, like Be My Eyes and Seeing AI, but here's a third one for you. And not to mention that there's stuff on the phone that do detections too. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the class. So any more questions on Ira? All right. My next topic is for all the cooks out there. And I know Patty's a cook and she uses this, setting up multiple timers at the same time. So let's say you're cooking some chicken or you're cooking some ham and you got to set different timers for each. Well, I can show you how to do it with the S Lady. So the way you do this is you open up your phone.
7:11 p.m.
Okay.
Iron Explorer. Apps with Iron closing mail.
Close all that stuff.
Swipe up.
All right. So the way you initiate a timer is I'm going to do a timer for chicken, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to listen to what I say to the S Lady. So, Siri, timer titled chicken for 10 minutes.
10-minute chicken timer, starting now. When the timer ends, you can say, Siri, stop.
Siri,
Hmm?
timer titled egg for 20 minutes.
20-minute egg timer, starting now.
And then you can ask a question. So, Siri, what timers do I have?
There are 2 timers. Chicken timer, with about 9 minutes left, and egg timer, with about 19 minutes left.
Siri,
Uh-huh.
close all timers.
Do you want to cancel all your timers?
Yes.
I canceled all your timers.
So it's pretty easy. It's all voice controlled, and you can set up multiples, as many as you want. Just don't lose track of them. So, oops, sorry. So now you know who came first, the chicken or the egg. I think the chicken timer was first. So I think we
Hey,
solved that problem.
There's more competition for the A Lady.
Well, Chica, Patty, I know you use the A Lady a lot.
Iron Explorer.
I use the A Lady. Yeah.
Like you'll set a timer for one thing, and then you'll set a second timer, like when you're making bread and you need like a 20-minute timer, and then you have something else going on, then you add another timer.
Well, yeah, because I used to just set timers, and now it's like, you have to, if I'm cooking multiple stuff, it just tells me. And then I could ask her exactly what you did. How much more time on my bread or my whatever.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And these devices, whether it's the A Lady devices or the Apple, iPhone devices, they're all great at keeping time. That's kind of one of the best things that they do. You never have to go adjust the time on your devices. They're all just right in sync with the national time, the atomic clock. That's kind of nice. All right, any questions about multiple timers? All right, you guys are pretty quiet tonight. It's kind of scaring me. Let's see. Okay, the next thing is a website that Barbara turned me on to. It's called Apple VIS. V as in Victor, I as in Sam. And what this site does, it does a lot. It's like a wealth of information for us. But the thing that I want to talk about today is an app, like looking up an app and checking its accessibility and what they say about it. So in their website, you can go to their app list and look at a bunch of apps. You can search for stuff. And then in our case tonight, there's one called Blindfold Greeting Cards. And we're going to look up that app in this Apple this site, this.com. And then we'll get the information about what it is and its accessibility compatibility. Now, and this website goes far beyond that. This is just the apps, but it talks about everything. So I'm going to show you soup to nuts how you get there. So the first thing you do is you can open Safari. You can go to the address bar, and you can speak each letter of the domain name .com, and then it'll go to the front page. You can also do it through the S Lady. Now, the S Lady, what she'll do is if you ask it correctly, she'll present you with the options, and at the very top will be the one you want. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing we do is open the phone.
7:15 p.m. Passwords.
All right.
Double tap to open.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to open the website called, and then I'm going to spell it and see if she just opens it or she gives me a list. So Siri, open website applevis.com.
Okay, I found this on the web for open website applevis.com. Check it out.
We're going to the top one here.
AppleVis. AppleVis is the go-to resource for blind, deaf-blind,
That's the one we
and
want.
low-vision users of the AppleVis app. Safari. Getting started with your first Mac, iPhone, iPad, or Apple.
So just like any site, you have a search option, and I recommend using that for whatever you're looking for. Okay. In this case, we're going to be looking for blindfold greeting cards. We want to know if that app is something that we want or what is it and all this good stuff. So what you got to do is you got to swipe over to the search function. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to swipe to the right.
Before you do that, can you show us how to do it on Safari?
Oh, you want to do it there? Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
Most likely, that's the way you're going to have to do it. Siri is kind of flighty. Sometimes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get off of the website and I'm going to do it the other way, like Barbara wants. So let me do that now.
Address, text field, is editing, manicelis.com.
So we'll go to my site.
Skip to main content, in page, making technology.
So now we're completely off their site. Now I want to navigate to their site using the address bar. So the first thing you got to do after you open Safari, okay, you just tell it to open Safari. You go up to the address bar if it's on top. Using your finger, you can just swipe, you can just drag it up there and it'll say address bar. And here's what it sounds like.
Are you having making technology accessible? Small logo of the Braille letters M and C. Address, not secure. Manicelis.
Okay, so there's the address. And all you do is double tap on that.
Address, text field, is editing.
And you dictate it one letter at a time. You don't need the www and all that stuff. Just what I dictated to the S Lady right now. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do the dictation. applevis.com.
Inserted applevis.com. AppleVis, applevis.com.
Now, this is a search field, so we want to go down to the search results because even though I know I typed it correctly, we want to make sure that it finds it, it knows what we're looking for. So I'm going to swipe to the right and get down to the search results. It's like a little drop down from the search field. So I'm going to do that now.
Voice search, clear text, selected, AppleVis, applevis.com.
That's it. So I'm going to double tap that.
Global navigation.
And we're back.
Welcome to Applevis, heading level.
So that's how you do it both ways. So thank you, Barbara, for that. I was not going to do that, but I think that's better to do them both. Okay, so when you're on the site, now we got to find the search function. Now, sometimes it's a text field, sometimes it's a button. They're never consistent. No two websites are the same. So let's swipe around. I'm going to swipe left to right here and see if I can find it. So it should be at the top here.
Main menu, search.
Right there.
Button, side search, search, landmark.
So they got a search button instead of a field. So I got to open that up to get to a search field. And that's strike one for the site. I shouldn't have to do that. It should just be right there. So I'm going to do that.
Search, side search.
So then I double tapped on the button and it didn't put me in the text field. Strike two. I'm going to go to swipe to the right.
Search, text field.
Not the end of the
Double
world,
tap to edit.
but it obviously wasn't designed, you know, with
7:20.
accessibility in mind. So now I'm going to look for that app I was talking about, this blindfold greeting cards. So I'm going to double tap there and dictate that into the box.
Search, text field, search, text field.
Blindfold greeting cards.
Inserted blindfold greeting cards.
So now I have to go find the button to perform the search. So I got to swipe to the right.
Search, button.
There it
end.
is.
Side search, search, end. Side search, search.
Okay, so I heard something, but I wasn't sure. So let me see if we found it. Now, the way that I do these websites is typically, instead of doing it one by one and swiping till your finger falls off, I navigate by headings. So I'm going to look for a heading called blindfold greeting cards because that's what I was looking for. So I'm going to do the rotor and go to heading navigation. And that's just a little twisty function on the screen.
Links, form controls, edit, characters, words, lines, text selection, speaking rate, containers, headings. 0 headings.
No headings, so that's not good. So let's go down here.
6, bullet, iOS and bullet, blog post date, bullet, 2009, bullet, 2008, bullet, 2000, bullet, 2016.
So I'm swiping one at a
4,
time. I know
link,
it's down here somewhere.
bullet, 2000, bullet, 2000, displaying 116 of 16, heading level 2.
So there's a heading, but it wasn't in the list. So that's kind of odd, but I'm gonna swipe over. And I think probably the first guy in the list is going to be the guy that I'm looking for.
Blindfold greeting card, heading level 3, link.
All right, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to double tap on that link to bring up the details of this app.
Blindfold greeting card, heading level 3, link.
All right, so on this screen, it has just the information for that app, blindfold greeting cards. So I'm gonna swipe to the right, and then we'll hear a little bit of the description, and then the other stuff that I was talking about.
Blindfold greeting card, heading category, colon, social network, description of app, heading level 3.
All right, so here's the description.
Blindfold greeting card is a fully accessible e-card app for sending audio cards to your friends and family. A greeting card is created by first selecting a sound effect, and then recording yourself saying something. After both steps are done, prepare and listen to the card to make sure you like it, and then send the card. Cards can be sent via email, text message, Facebook, Twitter, or any other social networking app that your phone may have.
Okay.
You can choose from hundreds of sound effects when blindfold greeting card comes with the ability for you to send 10 cards. After those are used up, you can purchase upgrades for create and send more cards.
Okay, so that's basically the description. The other thing that's important about this app, the whole reason we're looking at this app, is there is a review of its accessibility. So let's get down there. I'm going to skip over a couple of things that really, it doesn't matter too much. Let me do that.
Version, heading 1, free or paid, free. Apple Watch support, no. Device, S, iPhone, iOS version, 9. Accessibility comments.
Here we
heading
go.
Level 3, fully accessible.
Okay.
VoiceOver performance. VoiceOver reads all page elements. Button labeling. Heading level 3. All buttons are clearly labeled. Usability. The app is fully accessible with VoiceOver and is easy to navigate and use.
Okay.
Other comments.
So that's basically it. Then you have user comments below that, which we won't go into. So that's the gist of it. You can kind of preview if an app is accessible and how it's rated by people who use the app who are blind. And then you get a nice brief description without hearing a novel about the app. But you got to do the little search thing at the beginning. And this could be apps, it could be anything. It could be anything you want to look for. It's the same kind of search for everything. So that's kind of what that is in a nutshell. It's called applevis.com. It's in a website. And I would definitely recommend that for research. Any comments or questions about that? All right. Either I'm good or you guys are asleep already. Let me see here.
Passwords.
All right.
Double taps. Safari. Closing Safari.
Oh,
Safari.
okay.
Active.
So our next guy on our list, this one is called Show and Tell. So this is something that Patty turned me on to, and I got to find it here real quick. Put it down here. So have you ever gone to the pool, the beach, or someplace where your phone is not comfortable being out, or you're worried about it falling into water or sand or whatever it is on the ground? You can get these pouch things. They're called waterproof phone pouches, and they're clear.
Screen dimmed.
And they
Passwords.
allow you to
Double
put.
tap to open.
I'm sorry, hang on a second. My phone keeps talking. So, they're clear and they allow you to stick the phone in here, and you can seal them up at the top. Now, the one I have has two compartments. One for the phone, and then you got one for maybe a wallet. And then it's got a thing that you can use to hang around your neck so you don't have to fumble with it in your hand. And the good thing about this is that this material, this plastic that's protecting your valuables, your phone and stuff, you can still tap through it to your screen and you can still hear your phone. All the while it's protected from the elements, except for sun. I mean, you can't leave it in the sun. It's clear plastic, so that wouldn't be good. But there's no water will get in there, no dirt, sand, or whatever. So I highly recommend this. And they're only about, Patty, how much were these? How much did this double one cost? Do you remember? Okay, well, I think they're between $10 and $20. So that's what they cost. So any questions about this? All right. Let me continue on. Okay. The one new thing in 18.1 is called call recording. So we've always wanted this in our phones, and now they made it a reality. You can be in a phone call and you can then start a phone call recording. So let me find my phone here. Where did you go? Where did you go?
7:27 p.m. Tuesday, November 19th.
Okay, so the way you do a call recording is you initiate a call, and then you have to switch from the number pad to the other pad, the one that has the mute on it and speaker and all that. When you do that, there's going to be a call recording button in the upper left of the screen. So I'm going to do that now.
7:28 p. Try again. Face ID.
Okay.
Passwords. Calendar.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to place a call to Sun Van Ride, and then I'm going to start the recording. And I'm going to try to talk through it. It may sound weird for a minute while I'm talking, but I'll try to muddle through it so you can understand what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do is I have a contact called Sun Van Ride. So I'm going to have them call them on speaker. So Siri. Call Sun Van Ride on speaker.
Calling Sun Van Ride, home on speaker.
Okay. So when it starts talking, it's connecting. I have to hit this hide keypad, and then go to this start call recording. It then announces to everybody on the call that recording is in progress. It just said that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it talk for a second, and then I'm going to end the call, which will end the recording.
Oh, calendar, Tuesday, November 9th.
Okay, I just ended the call. So you're probably wondering, where is this recording? And what it does, it puts it into your notes. And you go to your notes, and the recording will be there, and then the transcript if it's able to transcribe it. The one thing you don't get with our phones that you do get with the newer AI phones is you can take that transcript and summarize it. And that'd be good for, like, if you're on a meeting somewhere and you wanted to summarize the meeting and everybody practice good etiquette, then everybody's voices will be heard and transcribed, and then you could get a transcription plus concise summary if you wanted that.
Podcasts.
So what I'm going to do to do this, I have to go to my Notes app. So I'm going to do that now. Siri. Open Notes.
Notes. Toolbar. In progress. One note. Recently deleted. Heading.
So I'm in the wrong thing. I'm in my recently deleted box. I need to go back to my folders. So I'm going to go back.
Folders. Back button. Folders. Back button. Folders. Heading.
So the heading of your screen should say folders. And then you swipe down, this one will be on top because it was my last note. So let me do that.
Search field. Dictate. But do you want to be notified when mentioned in shared notes? Close button. Close.
Let's try that again.
Call recordings. 2 notes button.
So you can just go to
Swipe
call
up or down to select a.
You can just go to call recordings.
Selected. Call recordings. To call recording. Modified 7:29 p.m. 1 audio recording. In folder notes.
All right. So what I'm going to do is double tap on that one to open it up.
November 19th, 2024 at 7:29 p.m.
Now what I want to do
Double
is
tap to show.
go to the recording itself. So let me find it.
Call recording. 7:29 p.m. Audio attachment. 20 note. Call.
So I found the audio attachment. I swipe up or down to play it.
Drag. Add link. Activate. Drag. Add link.
Maybe not.
Call recording. Drag call record play.
There it is, play. So do that.
Call recording.
Recording is in progress. It just said that. So we're talking over each other. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it talk for a second, and then I'm going to end the call, which will end the recording.
If you wish to hear this message in English, please press 1 or stay on the line. Calls will be recorded for quality assurance purposes.
So that's the recording. And then somewhere along here, there should be a transcript. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah.
Share button. Note. Call recording. Call recording. Toolbar. Checklist. Attachments. Checklist. Note. Drag. Add link. Activate. Drag. Activate. Default. Note. Text field. Is editing. Call recording. 7:29 p.m. Format. Button. Checklist. Table. Checklist. Format. Call recording. Note. Text field. Is editing.
So I don't have the transcription yet.
Call recording. 7.
Or it didn't do it right. But usually there's a transcription right under the recording. And it worked on the other one that I did. So I still going to work on this and clean it up a little bit. That's what it's, the recording worked, and usually the transcription works too. So we were kind of talking over each other, so I don't know if it deleted that part or not, or what's going on. But there should be a transcription here somewhere for all of that. And I don't.
Call recording. 7:29 play. Select. Activate. Display. Activate. Default. Sheet grabber. Button. Replicas on. View. Button.
Oh, here we go. I just had to double tap on
to
it.
scroll to this
So
position.
here we go.
Then announces to button. Participant button.
That's the other person talking.
Double Sam. But I said button.
Okay. And then
You button.
we were talking to each other at
Double
that
tap to
point,
scroll to the-
so it's not accurate. Okay.
Everybody on the button. Participant button. Sebastian as if his button.
Whatever.
You button. Call that recording is in button. Participant. Convenience button. You button. Progress it just said that button.
So when you're talking over each other, it gives you like these weirdo stuff, but it does try to transcribe it the best it can. So when you do call recordings, you want to be sure you're not talking over each other, or it's going to mess up the transcription because it doesn't know how to discern stuff really well. It just one then the other kind of thing. So just so you know. Any questions on that?
Oh, Manny,
Yeah.
it's Maggie.
Yeah.
This is kind of a little weird side effect. My son is an attorney, and he dropped a little thing in there. He said it's illegal to record someone in a regular, but it's not illegal to record yourself. And
Oh,
if you're
okay.
ever in a situation where you feel you want to save it, you can tap on record because you're doing yourself. If
I
you're in a
think-
touchy situation or someplace is becoming uncomfortable and you want it.
Yeah, I don't know the exact law. He's probably right, him being a lawyer. But
Yeah.
what this thing does, and I don't know if I said that earlier, when you do the recording, anybody who's on the line gets a notification, recording in progress. So they have the option to either stay on and be recorded, or they can get off the recording. They can't
he
stop
was
it.
talking about if you're, say you're in a situation and nobody's on anything, but it's becoming a little hostile or something. You
Mhm.
tap
Screen
this,
dimmed.
you just tap it and you're recording yourself. You are not recording a group.
Yeah, that's something to check out. I know there's been some controversy about 1 and 2 or multi-party consent. And John's not here to weigh in on that because he is a lawyer too. And I just not qualified to even tell you what's right or wrong. But I can ask somebody, or if you want to ask your son, and maybe I can include that in the notes if he wants to send a
Well,
little
his
note, I can put
comment
it in
was,
there.
the world being what it is,
Mhm.
some places you're someplace and the situation is uncomfortable and you're not sure. But if you flip this, you have an accurate recording of what
Mhm.
you yourself said. And it's not on the phone or anything. It's just you're recording a situation, even if you don't even say a word.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There is some. There's some rules that courtesy rules and things too. We should all go by. But again, I think call recording should only be used when both parties are aware of it and they're happy with that, and they're not fighting or anything like that. And maybe you're getting information from your doctor and stuff. But you're right, Maggie. If it's a contentious situation, recording it may almost even make it worse. So I don't know.
No, what he was referring to, we got to talking about a case and he was bringing up, he said, it's just a situation you want to record. You and I aren't fighting. We're in a situation and Barb makes a comment that raises your hackles and I'm taking the other side.
Mhm.
You just tap it and you have if it goes higher, you have a exact copy of what's being said.
Yes.
Um,
No, that's a good point.
Manny,
Yes.
it doesn't work until you make a phone call. So you can't tap it without making a phone call, Manny. The second thing I want to say is you have to hide the screen. It says hide keyboard. Isn't that what it says?
Yes. So when you make a call,
So you have to find that. So
right.
after you make that recording, you have to flick over to hide. I'm not sure if it says hide my screen or hide my keyboard.
It says hide keypad, which is the
Okay,
number
hide
keypad.
keypad. So you
Mhm.
have to flick over to that, double tap on that, and then that call recording button is in the upper left.
Left. Yes.
And that's real important because sometimes you can't find it.
hmm
So if you put your finger in the upper left, then you can find it after you hide your keypad.
And what it does, it announces to all parties on the line, call recording in progress. And again, I don't know if that's legal or not. I mean, Maggie brings up a good point, but and you're right, Barbara, you got to be in a call to record. You can't do it
Has to be
before
in a
you.
call to record.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about, Maggie might be better on the easy voice recorder because you can stop that, you can resume, and you would have a recording then.
And as far as I know, you cannot do any kind of clandestine recording. I mean, when everybody gets notified on the call that recording is in progress. Now, if you start a recording with voice or the easy voice recorder on the side in a different device, and then you have the phone on speaker, well, then nobody has any idea you're recording, and it'll pick up everything that's being said, but the other people in the party won't know that. And that could get, I don't know if that's admissible if it came to a court thing or anything like that. I have no idea. That's a John McCann kind of question that I could never even approach. But it's interesting that we can record now. I mean, we've been wanting it for so long for different reasons, but you got to be careful. You don't want to record people if they don't really want to be recorded. It's kind of a sticky area. All right, pretty cool. Any questions on the recording of phone calls? All right, I'm gonna go now. So I discovered a new voiceover feature that I never thought about until I started looking at. And what it is it's called delay before selection. And what this does is it gives you an opportunity, like let's say if you have a problem doing gestures on the screen and you accidentally tap something all the time, you set this setting to a number and it'll ignore taps unless you have your finger on something for a specific amount of time. Now, right now, our default value would be 0 seconds. So wherever you put your finger on the screen, it'll just say it. But if you set this to like 1/4 of a second, your finger has to be on something for 1/4 of a second before it says anything. Now you can still swipe to stuff as normal, but just putting your finger on a screen somewhere, that's where it puts the delay. So I'm going to demonstrate that. And now, and this setting is under settings, accessibility, and then you have to tap on voiceover, and then delay before selection. That's the name of the setting. So let me open up settings, and then we can go over that. So
7:42 p.m.
Okay.
Notes, sheet grabber, button. Home calendar, Tuesday, November 19th.
Okay. Siri,
Uh-huh.
open settings.
Settings. Control set.
Oh, and by the way, they changed settings a little bit. What they did is they shortened up the front door settings, the screen. All of the apps are now on a separate screen. So your settings screen, when you go into it initially, only has about maybe 30 items total, and those are all specific to the iPhone. And then at the very bottom, you have the apps button where you can go into the apps list. And it uses this index thing so you can find them by letter. So anyway, that's just a side note. We're going to go into this voiceover thing and look at this delay before selection guy. So I'm going to go down to accessibility.
Accessibility button. Accessibility heading.
And of course, voiceover.
Personalize up vision heading. Voiceover on button. voiceover, switch button,
And then down here a little ways, it's going to be this delay before selection. Let me find it.
voiceover speaks, tap, double, learn more, what's voiceover to speaking rate, adjusts the speech, braille, voiceover record, verbosity, audio, commands, rotor, activity, typing, quick settings, navigation style, navigate image, large cursor, caption pan, delay before selection, 0S, button.
So delay before selection, the current setting is 0 seconds. That means it's immediate. So I want to show you what the difference is. Let me go in
delay
there.
Delay before selection.
So here's
Swipe up or down to
the explanation from Apple.
the delay before voiceover will select items when touching the screen.
Oh, that wasn't very good. Okay, so I'm going to, right now, if I touch the screen anywhere, it immediately tells me what's under my finger.
Delay before selection, heading. The delay before voiceover will select items, decrement, button.
So what I want to do is I want to increment that up to maybe a little bit of time, maybe half a second, just to make it really a big dramatic difference or something.
Increment, button.
So I'm going to start hitting that plus button.
0.05, 0.10, 0.20, 0.25.
About 25. So if I touch somewhere on the screen, it's not going to select it for a quarter of a second. So then what this does is when you're on the screen and you accidentally hit the screen with the finger, those fingers are not going to be detected, and you'll have a better experience if you're tapping the screen accidentally. So if I put my finger on something here, let's say, I don't know, this. Let me just put it there.
The delay before
There.
voiceover.
So I touched it, and then I'm gonna tell you when I touch it, and then you can hear when it starts speaking. So I'm gonna go to this button here, and I'm gonna touch it right now.
Increment, button.
So it took a quarter of a second before it said increment. If I put it back to 0, as soon as I touch it, it says that. Like I said, this is good for accidental touches on the screen. It's like an accommodation feature. So any questions on that, on the delay selection? Okay, let me just put it back. Oops, I have to hold it.
Manny,
yeah.
are you going to show them the volume button while you're there?
The volume button. What are we talking about?
How you can increase voiceover volume to 100%.
Oh yeah, we can. Sure,
so
we
that
can.
voiceover will talk over, like when you're doing a message and it says press 1, your voiceover will talk over the message so you can hear what number to press.
All right, let me set this back to where I had it.
Decrement, button. 0.20, 0.10, 0.05, 0.0.
All right, so now we're back. Let me go there. So what Barbara's talking about,
voiceover,
you're talking about maxing out the volume of voiceover and then taking it off the rotor so it doesn't get turned down again. Is that what you mean?
Well, both of them, but mainly you're in settings, so you could just go to volume and show them how high they can put it.
Okay, so let me see if it's on my thing already.
Caption panel, large cursor, navigation style, quick settings allows you quick setting, typing, activities, rotor, button, commands, audio, button.
Let's see. Is it under audio or is it under rotor commands? I'm trying to remember where that was at.
Verbosity, button, voiceover recognition, braille, speech, button.
Might be under speech.
Adjusts the speaking rate of the primary speaking rate, 50%, speaking rate, heading, voiceover tutorial.
Okay, go back down.
Adjusts the speech, button, braille, button.
Let's see if it's here.
Speaking rate, containers, headings, edit, characters, words.
So I think I need to add the volume control first of all. Let me do that.
Braille, button, speech, adjusts the braille, voiceover, verbosity, audio, commands, rotor, button. Rotor items, button.
So let me find the volume and then I'll explain what I'm doing real quick. And it may sound confusing unless you're following me real close. Let me just do this.
Changes the selected rotor based on the change rotor with changes the edit apps on home screen. Direct touch apps. Direct touch allows voiceover rotor items, button, selected, reorder selected, reorder word, selected, text selected, speaking rate volume.
So volume is not
Actions
selected.
available.
So what she's talking about doing is if you have a problem with VoiceOver's volume moving up or down, what you can do is you can put the volume on the rotor itself and then adjust the volume to wherever you like and then take it off. And then the volume will stay that way. It won't move. So let me do that now. I'm going to edit.
Volume. Selected. Volume.
Now if I do the rotor, it should be on there.
Characters. Words. Speaking rate. Volume. 180%. 100, 197, 199%. 199%.
So mine's already loud. I mean, I can take it back down. And then I would take the rotor item off, and then VoiceOver's volume would never change. It would stay the loudest possible. There's also another thing that talks about audio ducking. And what that does is that reduces the volume of other things while VoiceOver is talking. That may not be good if you're listening to something and VoiceOver speaks, like something you're really interested in, and VoiceOver decides to chime in. It'll reduce that volume in favor of VoiceOver. So that's how you get to the volume control for VoiceOver. You go to VoiceOver and then rotor items and then volume. You switch to it and then you increase it where you want or decrease it where you want. Then you get back to this rotor item thing, the selector, and then just turn it off, and then it'll never change after that. It'll never be changeable. Did I cover that okay, Barbara, or were you thinking about something else?
No, that's it. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
But it's so handy when the phone is saying press 4 for directions, press 5 for, and then you can't find it. Then you have to keep flicking till you get to the right number.
Right. Now, the other thing too, if you have a setting called change volume with buttons and under the sound and haptics settings, if you have that turned on with the buttons, while VoiceOver is talking, you can start pressing on the volume up button. It'll do the same thing. It'll move the volume up. So if you're worried about changing your VoiceOver volume, what you'll have to do is set this volume itself to 199 or whatever it is. And then you got to go over to sound and haptics and the change with button setting. You got to turn that off because you'll be able to decrease the volume if you do that. So there's like two paths into this thing that got to control the volume. It's very complex, but this is a good way to ensure that your volume is up for VoiceOver. And of course, audio ducking is the second way. That's another way to do it too. So I hope I didn't totally confuse everybody. So, all right, any questions about that? About the delay before selection or the volume stuff we just went over? All right, I'm gonna just go to the next thing. Okay, so one thing that Barbara wanted me to review is searching the App Store. Now, whenever you're looking for an app, 9 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 100, you're just going to go to the search function and do it. You can do it through the S-Lady. You could say something like search for blah, blah, blah in the App Store. So let's try that. Let's look for something, I don't know, like Be My Eyes, I guess. So let's bring the phone up.
7:52 p.m.
Let me close some of these screens too while I'm at it.
App switcher, settings, setting, close, app notes, closing notes, calendar.
Okay, Siri.
Uh-huh.
Search for Be My Eyes in the App Store.
Here's an option from the App Store.
Oh, what that's all about. Let's see.
Be My Eyes.
Okay.
And
calendar.
Something changed here, so let me try it again. Siri.
Uh-huh.
Search for Be My Eyes in the App Store.
Here's an option from the App Store.
Be My Eyes. Live. Be My Eyes. App Store. Tab
All right.
bar. Apps. Tab. 3 of 5.
So I double tapped on it.
Photo and video. Button. New original series. Get. In-app TikTok. Open. Tinder dating app. Chat at page 1 of 18.
Let me see what it did.
Entertainment. Button. Apps.
I must
Heading.
have pressed something accidentally here. Hang on a second.
New original series. Must have app. Page 2 of 8. All trails. CapCut. Video NFL. Incredible iPhone app. Bumble dating app. Meet Bumble dating
All right,
app.
I don't know what's
Meet and
going on
date.
here. I'm going to use the second method. Somehow this got messed up. I tapped something or I didn't do something right. So let's just do it the old fashioned way. We're going to go to the search thing.
Search. Tab. 5 of 5.
5 of 5.
Web page loaded. Roblox.
And I'm
Join
gonna
Willing Games. Apps.
Go up to the
and
search
more.
bar and I'm going to double tap that.
Search.
Be my eyes.
Inserted Be My Eyes. Search. Be My Eyes. Search field. Advertisement. Coin out. Receipts for Be My Eyes. See the world together. 4 3/4 stars.
So that worked.
11K ratings.
That worked better than the S lady search. The S lady, sometimes she does a good job and sometimes she doesn't. You know, there's only one app called Be My Eyes and it should have just brought me right to it. But it works okay when I do it this way. So using the search option in the store is really good. That's the best way to get an app. I rarely
Okay,
use.
so that search app is located where again?
So when you open up the app store, you go to the bottom right and it's a tab down here called
Tab bar. Selected. Search. Tab. 5 of 5.
search. 5
Five
of
of five. Yes, please.
Yeah, you rarely use any of the other 4 tabs. For me, if it only had one tab called search, that would be plenty. Okay, there's 4 other tabs or something, 4 other tabs, and it's just all a bunch of advertising, games, and all that. And I don't really go to their curated list or worry about games. I just go to search. I know what I'm looking for, and then I look for it in the list, and that's the easiest way. And it simplifies your life when you're doing searches in the App Store. On a good day, when the S lady is working 100%, it will actually pull up the correct thing. But for some reason today, it just didn't like me. And even though I gave it the right stuff and it recognized it, it didn't do its job. So who knows what happened there? Maybe we have sunspots today or something. I have no idea. Anyway, that's that. And any questions on searching the App Store? All right, it's going to force me to move on then. What do we have next? Okay, so the next guy on the list is called live recognition in text. So what this is, live recognition, I don't know if you ever remember, we talked about door recognition and people and all kinds of stuff. This is just one of those recognitions that the iPhone does. So to find out where these things live, you need to go to, so you go to settings and then you go to accessibility and then
Screen
voiceover and then voiceover recognition. And then under that, we go down to text. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do that now.
Be My Eyes. See the world together. Home.
All right, so let me go to settings.
Settings. Settings.
And then where are we in the front door?
Search. Manuel Celis. Accessibility. Button. Accessibility. Heading.
And we go to voiceover.
Vision. Heading. Voiceover. On. Voiceover. Switch button. On.
There should be a voiceover, excuse
Double
me,
tap to toggle
voiceover
setting.
recognition somewhere.
Voiceover tutorial. Speaking rate. Speaking rate. Adjusts the speech. Braille. Voiceover recognition. Button.
So that's the setting, voiceover recognition. We tap on that.
Using on-device intelligence. Your iPhone will automatically improve the accessibility of apps, images, and text. Live recognition. Button.
So there's live recognition.
Your iPhone will describe objects and the environment or image descriptions. On.
So let's go to live
Live
recognition.
recognition. Selected. People.
So, and
Swipe up or down to select a custom.
so these are the things it recognizes. Let it tell you what the notes are from Apple about this. So here we go.
Using on-device intelligence, your iPhone can detect people, doors, scenes, text, and furniture around you. Your iPhone can also detect text that is near your finger with point and speed. You can select which of these detectors appear in the live recognition rotor.
All right, so when you have magnifier up and you do the rotor, you can get over to this live recognition thing. I have everything selected. So when I have the magnifier up and I'm pointing it, it gets very chatty. It looks for text, it looks for people, it looks for everything, furniture. So you may want to turn some of these off or on. And all you do is you go to it and you can hear if it's on or off. So let me get to the top of the screen.
Live recognition, heading, selected, people.
So I got people
Swipe
selected.
up or
I'll
down
just
to selected.
check a few of them here.
Selected, doors, selected, scenes,
And then of course, what we were talking about today is text.
selected, text,
So if I turn that off, what'll happen is the text detection will not happen. It might still say some of the text, but that's another function, another part of the phone. But here on the magnifier, it will turn it off. And if you do door detection, you turn that off, it won't look at doors anymore and tell you, you know, if they're open, closed, whatever. So that's where this stuff lives. And it's tied mostly to the magnifier app. And some of these work in the camera app too, but mostly the magnifier. And these are just live detectors, meaning that you don't have to take a picture first. You don't do anything. You just point it and it'll just in real time detect stuff. So any questions on live recognition? Oh, I forgot to tell you. So this other one here, this other detector, before I ever forget.
selected, furniture,
Wait a minute, where is it?
selected, point and speak,
Point and speak is for more sighted people. So if you pointed at something and then you see enough of your viewfinder on your phone to where if you put your finger in front of it and point to something you want it to recognize, it'll actually know what you're pointing at and it'll recognize whatever's at the end of your finger. So it figures all that out and does that for you. That's kind of cool if you can see. Of course, I wouldn't use it because I'd be pointing at something and I wouldn't even know what I'm pointing at. So, but for low vision or high partial people, this could be something that could help out as for recognition purposes. So, all right. So that's it for live recognition. Let me just go to the next thing. What do we have here? So one of the new things in iOS 18 is they finally linked up reminders and calendars. So I know a lot of people use reminders to store date or timed events at a certain time, and that's perfectly okay. The only thing that's changed is when you set up a reminder for a certain date or time, it will now also appear on your calendar, whereas before they were separate. So you'd have half your appointments or things to do in the calendar, and the other half would live in reminders. And it couldn't detect if you had double booked your time. So they fixed that in this version. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into reminders and I'm going to create a reminder to call Barbara tomorrow. And then we'll go over to my calendar and we'll see that reminder entry is there for tomorrow at 7. And then I could delete it from the calendar, which will then reach into reminders and delete that reminder. So you know they're connected. Now the reverse isn't true. Whatever time stuff you put on your calendar, it doesn't appear in your reminders. It's a one-way thing. So if you do timed reminders, they go to calendars, but your calendar events don't end up in reminders. So here we go. I'm going to do that.
8:02 p.m.
Okay.
Settings. VoIP settings.
Siri. New reminder to call Barbara McPherson tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay, I added call Barbara McPherson for tomorrow 7 p.m.
Okay, so you know that's a reminder that's gonna fire at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So let's go into reminders and see where that reminder lives. Make sure it's there. Siri.
Settings.
Open reminders.
Remind toolbar. New reminder. But
Now in the front row reminders, you have a lot of categories, but the one we care about for timed reminders are the ones under scheduled. So I'm going to swipe to the right.
Recently deleted. Toolbar. New reminder. Dictate. But today. 0 schedule. 5 reminders. Button.
So I'm going to go in there.
Double tap lists. Back but more. New reminder for today. Button. Schedule. Today. New reminder tomorrow. Heading. Call doctor. Call Barbara McPherson. Incomplete. In reminders. Tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay,
In
so
section. Tomorrow.
that's the standard reminder to call Barbara. So what I'm going to do is go to my calendar and look at tomorrow, and I'll see that reminder in there. So Siri, open calendar.
Reminders calendar toolbar. Calendars button.
And now we're in calendars. Now we're here.
Months selected. Today, Tuesday, November 19. One
So
event.
we're going to go
button.
to tomorrow. Swipe to the
Double tap
right.
To view it. Wednesday, November selected. Wednesday. Call Barbara McPherson. 7 p.m.
Now, if I want to delete that reminder from here, like say, oh no, I didn't want to do that, I can do that. But at least now your calendar has all of your time stuff in one spot, so you can prevent double booking of your time and things like that. So if I want to delete this reminder, because it's not really a calendar event, it's a reminder event being shown on the calendar. But the calendar, like I said, can reach into reminders and kill the reminder too. So I'm going to double tap on this one.
Call Barbara McPherson. Tomorrow. 7 toolbar. Delete reminder.
So I'm going to delete that reminder.
Delete alert. Are you sure you want to delete this reminder? Delete reminder button. Toolbar. Calendars.
And then it goes off of my calendar. It's now gone on my calendar. And I'm sure if I go back to reminders, it's going to be gone there too. In fact, let's just check it to be sure.
App switcher. Calendar. Calendar. Active. Reminders. Active. Reminders.
Yep.
Add reminders.
So I do have a call tomorrow, but not to Barbara. It's to my doctor. But Barbara's is gone. I can just tell right here from where it was before. It's now gone. So that's how that works. So now they're connected, and hopefully that the world would be a better place. Any questions about reminders and calendars? All right, I want to keep going then. Let's go down here. Okay. So here's a new thing in 18, and this is called vocal shortcuts. Now, what this does, this provides automation to your phone via your voice. So you would record a phrase, and then it will go in and do something that you've assigned to that phrase. So for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my voice to bring up the app switcher. So that, you know, that thing you bring up so you can close or switch to apps. Normally you'd have to do a double tap on the button or a funky little swipe gesture to bring the app switcher up. But what I'm going to do is bring it up with my voice. And this is what you can do in vocal shortcuts. And there's many more things you can do with it too. So the vocal shortcuts lives in settings, accessibility, and then vocal shortcuts. So let's go there. Got it here.
Home. At remind, closing remind, calendar, closing calendar, setting, closing settings.
I should leave something open. Something to do vocal shortcut. So let me go to settings.
Calendar settings.
Now I think about it.
Double tap.
So let's go to
Settings.
accessibility.
Accessibility.
And then we're going to go to vocal shortcuts.
Zoom, up display and tech motion, spoken audio descript, physical and touch, face switch control, voice control, eye tracking, sidebar, control near hearing, sound rec, RTTs, audio and vision, subtitles, live catch, music haptic, speech, live speak, personal voice, vocal shortcuts, off.
So
button.
vocal shortcuts are currently off. So I'm going to go in there.
Set up vocal shortcuts button.
I don't have any. Once I get some in there, they'll be listed. So here's the little verbiage under that.
Teach your iPhone to recognize a custom phrase that you can say to quickly perform an action. Audio is processed on iPhone.
So that means that nothing is sent up to the cloud or Apple when you do this. Your voice and everything is processed here locally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one.
Set up vocal shortcuts. Cancel button. Set up vocal shortcuts. You will choose an action and record a phrase in order to teach your iPhone.
So an action is like open app switcher or open the camera or do this or do that, whatever it is. So we're gonna choose open app switcher. So we're gonna go to the next screen.
Continue button. Heading.
Now here's some that are in there already. So
Siri request button. Shortcuts heading. New shortcut button. New voice memo button.
so if you want to make a new voice memo, I can assign a thing to that. But I'm going to go down to the area where the app switcher stuff is. I'm going to do that now.
Text last image. What's a shortcut? System heading. App switcher button.
I'm going to choose that one. That's the action that I want it to take with my phrase. I want it to do the app switcher.
App switcher button. Custom text field is editing. Enter command name.
So the first thing that you have to do is give it a name, a command name. And I'm just going to give it the same thing that I'm going to say. I'm going to say show, maybe just show apps. Let's just call it that. I don't know. So we'll do that. I'm going to type that in, or show apps.
Inserted show apps.
So that's the name of it. Now, when I hit this button to do the recordings,
Go.
this go button,
Use the rotor to act.
it's going to ask me to say that thing 3 times so it can get a print of my voice, so it can recognize that when I say it. And then it'll actually run the app switcher when I say that. Now, when you do your voice command, be sure it's something unique and something that you don't say all the time, like, hello and stuff like that, because you don't want this thing popping up every time you say hello. You've got to give it like a unique thing that you don't use very often. So in this one, I'm going to do show apps. Now, the last caveat of creating this is that while voiceover is on, it's going to cause a problem with my recording. So I got to turn speech off, and then I got to double tap to push that button. And then I got to say it 3 times. And then it should take. I got to turn speech back on and make sure it's okay. So I'm going to turn speech off, and then I'm going to double tap the button that I'm currently on. And then I'm going to say it 3 times and see what happens. So I'm going to do that now, turning speech off.
Speech off.
I'm going to double tap the button to start recording. Show app switcher. Show app switcher. Show app switcher.
Speech on.
So I did it 3 times. Let's see what happened. I don't know if it's okay.
Action is ready.
Okay,
Heading.
action's ready.
iPhone will listen for show apps and perform action. App switcher. Continue button.
All right.
Accessibility. Home.
Here we go. So I'll try it here. Show app switcher.
App switcher.
There it is.
Show apps. App switcher. Settings. Active.
Now you can do this for anything, apps and anything like that. Maybe it might be good to have a class on things that you want to automate with your voice, and then we can do that. So this kind of opens up a whole new world with the vocal shortcuts, a lot of automation possibilities here. So another vocal shortcut that you already know is like say cheese and all that. Those things take pictures, but you just have to use the S lady's name first. These vocal shortcuts, you don't need to go through the S lady. You just say them and it does it. So that's the difference between those.
Screen dimmed.
So it's really nice to be able to bring that up with your voice, and you'll be able to do many other things. And if you guys want, let me know of other things you would like to automate, and maybe I can put them into a class. Let's say if you want to automate this thing or that thing, I'll look it up and do the research, and I can send you notes and show you how to do that stuff. And that way your phone can work better for you, and you can use your voice more. So that's kind of a cool little feature that they added in. Any questions about vocal shortcuts? All right, we're going to the next thing. Okay. So one of the things that we don't really talk about much are these buttons on the phone. So the button that I call the power button, Apple refers to that as the side button. So what we want to do is we want to see what we can do with the side button. I want to go through some of the settings so you guys can hear what you can do with this one little button on the side. Okay, so that's located in settings, accessibility, and then side button. So let me go there.
8:13 p.m.
Get out of there.
Settings. App switch setting. Closing settings. App store. Closing app store.
Okay. Siri,
Uh-huh.
open settings.
Settings. Accessibility button. Accessibility heading. Display and text size.
I'm going to find the side button.
Motion. Spoken. Audio. Physical and touch. Face eye. Switch. Voice control. Eye tracking. Side button.
Right there.
Button.
Under eye tracking, which is another new thing, but I don't think we need to talk about eye tracking since we don't really see. But under that is called side button.
Control nearby devices.
Nope,
Button.
sorry.
Side button. Button.
Right there.
Click speed. Heading.
So here are some of the settings for the side button. I'll just comment as we go through them, just so you know what you can do with the side button.
Selected. Default.
So the default action for the side button is what you're used to. You can go to the lock screen with one press. If you do 3 presses, it brings up the accessibility menu like that. But here's some other stuff.
Slow.
So this, and then this is the speed. You can have it where you can do a slower presses and it'll detect it, or default speed, which is faster, like a bam, 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 or whatever. So if you need it slower, this is where you would adjust it, and it'll work the same for you. So let's keep going.
Slowest.
And then of course our slowest.
Adjust the speed required to double or triple click the side button.
So if you go, again, if it's slower and you do a triple click, you go bam, bam, bam. To do a triple click, you can go bam, bam, bam. You don't have to be so fast. That's what that's about. Let's keep going.
Press and hold to speak. Heading. Selected. Siri.
So if I press and hold the button, it's like if I called out to her, called out to the S lady.
Classic voice control.
So voice control we haven't covered. That's something that we can't do while voiceover is on. That's why this is a new term for you. But that would be another option that you could do with a press and hold. So we'll keep going.
Off.
Or you can turn it off. So if you press and hold, it does nothing. You can do that.
Siri will respond when you press and hold. Side button confirmation. Heading. Enable confirm with switch control. Button.
So switch control is something totally different, foreign to what we're used to. That's a little control that people with motor problems use to navigate the phone. So we'll skip over that.
Enable confirm with use assistive touch or switch control. Use assistive touch.
And that's it. It's just a thing where you can adjust the sensitivity of the button, the speed, and of course what it does when you long press. That's what this thing does. So know that that's there in the area that I told you, the accessibility, and then side button. That's where you find this. All right. Any questions about the side button? Power button, what do you want to call it? Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, so one of the last things we have here is the typing style. So when you turn VoiceOver on, when you use the keyboard, you have a couple of different typing styles. So let's go to this setting and I'll explain each one. So it's under settings, accessibility, VoiceOver, and then typing style. So I'm going to go there right now. So let me go back.
Accessibility, back button, accessibility, back button.
So we're already in accessibility. So I just got to find VoiceOver, and I just got to find what you call it.
Face ID and attention.
Sorry,
button.
hang on a second here.
Rows 1 to 9 of 32. Rows 1 to 7 of 32. VoiceOver on.
So go to VoiceOver.
VoiceOver.
And then typing. So typing is down here somewhere.
VoiceOver speaks items of rows 5 to audio. Button. Commands. Rotor. Activity. Typing. Button.
Right there. Typing. So we go in there.
Typing style. Touch typing. Button.
Now you have 3 ways to type. And so I have touch typing, but the default one is called standard typing. And what that is when you have the virtual keyboard up at the bottom of your phone and you find a letter, it'll say F, D, G, whatever. And when you hear it, you stop and then you double tap to enter that letter in. Okay. If you have touch typing, all you do is you swipe to it, and when you let go or when you just touch it, it will then type it in with just a single tap. The last one I don't ever see anybody using, and that is, what is it called again?
Typing feedback, but phonetic feedback, character and
Where is it?
phonetic, modifier keys, control plus typing style, standard type.
Sorry, it's this one here.
Direct touch typing.
Direct touch typing. And that's an old term for people who know how to type. That means you don't look and you just automatic. But I don't see how that applies on a screen that's so small, where you don't get any feedback. You just type on it as if you know where all the keys are. I don't think that's even an option for us. So the only two options that are really make sense would be standard or touch typing. Touch typing for low vision people or high partial, and definitely standard for people who have very low vision or completely blind, because then you get the audio confirmation of that. Any questions about the typing style in VoiceOver? Okay, let's see here.
Typing, back button.
Go back.
Home, calendar, Tuesday, 8:19 p.m. Status, Uber Eats.
Okay, I think that's the end of my list. I think I went through it so fast, there was not very much talking. Is there any questions or anything that I can talk about to people for the rest of the time? Because I think I hit the end of my list, which is very strange.
Manny,
Yeah.
did you want it to go over Uber or Lyft?
Yeah, we can go through it. What do we want to do? Just a ride thing?
Right, we want to do a ride. And today I ran into trouble when I tapped on me, and then it wanted to share it with another person. And then if you hit close, then you have to start all over again.
Okay. Well, let me open up Uber, and I'll pretend that I'm making a ride somewhere. And then, Barbara, you can guide me to where you want me to go, and I can explore. That way we can figure it out here. So
Southwest.
Just
Double apps settings. Closing settings. Setting.
Okay, so I'm going to go open Uber.
Uber. Uber. Selected. Rides.
Now, just a side note, whenever I do rides anywhere, I check my prices on both Uber and Lyft. And typically Uber is less expensive for some reason. Lyft has been outrageous, but there have been times where Uber is like double the price of Lyft. And I don't know how they calculate this stuff, but there's something weird going on out there. So it always is better if you do a comparison shopping to make sure that you get the best price. So I'm going to pretend I'm going somewhere. Here, let's see. Let me just pull up an address that.
Walmart Neighborhood Market.
All right, let's say I want to go to Walmart Neighborhood Market. So the first thing you do when you come into Uber is you set your destination. It'll have a list, or you can do a search. So you can, if you want to do a search, you got to be here.
Where to button.
Where to button. You
Opens
do that.
destination search. Destination search 88 and Rayburn PM.
Now, when you bring that up, it'll bring the recent places you've been. So I'm going to, Walmart Market should be there.
Walmart Neighborhood Market, 8640 E Broadway Boulevard.
So what I'm going to do is double tap that and make that my destination. So I do that.
Walmart back button.
And then what it does, it brings up the vehicles that are available or the prices. So by default, it does Uber X, which is usually the least expensive.
Selected Uber X, fare $7.95. Estimated drop off 8:34 p.m.
Now, if I were to go to Lyft and do the same thing, watch the price difference. So I'm going to go over there just for fun. So let's price shop. Okay.
Home Uber, Lyft. Home screen. Menu 88 and Rayburn work. Night Walmart Neighborhood Market.
Go there.
Loading. Mode selection screen. Selected. Standard. Price is $13.91.
Look at that.
Pick up at 8:34 p.m.
This is why you comparison shop. It's outrageous that one is almost double than the other. And this time it was Lyft.
And then go to wait and save.
Oh yeah, wait and save. Let's go down. So wait and save is supposed to be their cheapest. So this was what again? Let me see.
Selected. Standard.
13.
Price is $13.09. Priority pick selected.
So basically $14 rounded up. Let's go to wait and save, which is down here.
Wait and save. You will need to wait 0 to 25 minutes. Price is $11.99. Pick up between 8, 20.
That's better, but it's still a lot more than like $8.
Mhm.
So this doesn't make any sense. So obviously you close Lyft because you don't want to pay extra, obviously. So I want to close that now.
App switcher, Lyft, close app switcher, 2024,
Oops.
back button. App switcher, calendar, app switcher, Uber, active.
Okay. So
Uber, back selected, Uber X, fare $7.95. Estimated drop.
So Barbara, you want me to go ahead and select Uber X? Are we going to the next
Yeah.
step here?
Keep going.
Okay, so down at the bottom of the screen, you go ahead and select Uber X or whatever. What we found out is if you have a pet with you, whether it's a dog, cat, service turkey, whatever you have as a pet, you're supposed to choose Uber Pet or Lyft Pet. That's another car type. I won't show that here, but you got to make sure you choose the pet one because you don't know if the driver's allergic to cats or whatever. And there's a reason why they have that category there. Anyway, let me choose Uber X.
Choose Uber X button. Choose Uber at back button.
Now, this screen is where I choose the pickup point. Hopefully, it's going to have where I'm at. Okay, so let me do that. Find out where I'm at here.
Selected. Pick up on Arbor Point P app. Confirm the pickup spot.
So that first thing it said is because I swiped into the map and it just gave me a general thing. But now that I swipe down below it, it's going to give me the exact thing. So
confirm the pickup spot. Loading. 8,219.
So that's where I'm at. So Barbara, I'm at the point to where I can book the ride. I really don't want to book it unless we're going to show something crazy because I'll have to undo it.
No, but just keep going so they can hear it.
Okay, so I'm at the very bottom.
8,219 Arbor Point P.
Now, if I wanted to change that, I double tap on there. Let's say I wanted to change my pickup point to somewhere else.
Clear text back, but save places. 8,203 Arbor Point.
So it's trying to find places around me because it knows that the phone and I are here. So it's not going into my list. Sometimes it gets the address wrong because the GPS isn't 100%, but it was right this time. And if I wanted to pick up close to me, I could do that. I think if I put something completely far away, like Patty's or Barbara's place, it'll give me a warning that it doesn't look like you're close. Are you sure? Kind of thing. And that's to let you know that your driver's going to go where your phone doesn't appear to be. And you don't want that. Mm-hmm. So this is where you change that. So if I wanted to do my place,
8,209.
So that's it there. I'll just double tap.
8,219. Select.
And then it just goes back to the screen. And then the only thing I have left on this screen is to do this.
Confirm pickup button.
When I double tap that, then the car's coming, or they're going to go get the car. So that's how that works. So the biggest takeaway here is to have both apps and do price shopping because sometimes they're wildly different. And at certain times of the day, when demand goes up, and Patty and I have seen this a lot, prices will just jump because of supply and demand. And you might want to wait a little bit because if you're used to paying like $8 and it's now $10 or $12 minimum for each app, you may want to wait a little bit. And I'm not sure exactly when these times are. I think Patty knows better than me, but there's times we avoid, I think. Patty, go ahead.
Well, and yes, this is Patty. And also when you when I look at Lyft, I'm going to Manny's house and then it's too high. So, or whatever. Then I just go to Uber to look. And then all of a sudden I get a notification from Lyft that the price just dropped. Like, oh, really?
Like they know you're checking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Every time you close the app and start over, they take money off.
But what?
They take money out. How can they do that?
Right. The fare goes lower every
Oh
time
yeah,
you
if you
close the
Oh.
because
app.
you if
and
you step
start
away
over.
from it, yeah.
Because I did that this afternoon because I was having problems. Every time I came back, it was $1 less.
Screen dimmed.
Wow.
Well, and if you notice, think of the times that you were doing it. The top of the hours, for some reason, they're higher.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Believe me, we know. We take it all the time. So
Yeah.
All right. So on the Lyft one, can you go back to where it says me, where I was having problems today?
yeah, let me get out of Uber.
8:29 p.m. Uber back button.
Let's see if my shortcut works. Show app switcher. Okay, you're making a fool out of me. Show app switcher. See, I knew it wouldn't work. Show app switcher. All right, so it's not doing it.
It's tired. You've had it all for hours.
It's
Okay.
tired.
Calendar Tuesday. November at Uber closing Uber.
My phone is acting a
Action.
little funny though.
Yeah, it was.
Three-
It was.
I-
I was gonna tell you that it's when you're speaking. Sometimes it's going.
Well, it's like really hypersensitive and it's acting skittish. So maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I need to reset it or something. So anyway, all that aside, I'm going to go into Lyft and we're going to follow Barbara's lead here.
Lyft. Home screen. Lyft. Where to? 88 and Rayburn P. Work. 9,860. Where to? Button. Schedule button. 88 and Rayburn. Work. Walmart neighborhood market.
Let's use the same thing since
8,600.
we know
Loading.
that price.
Mode selections back button. Selected. Standard. Price is $7.05. Pick
Hey,
up
what did I say?
Arrive at
So now it's $7 and what?
That is correct. So I always close it
Selected.
once and then come back.
Now wait and save should be less. So this says what again? Let me see.
selected. Standard. Price is $7.05. Pick up at 8:39 p.m.
$7.05.
Arrive at 8:40. Wait and save. You will need to wait 0 to 20 minutes. Price is $5.99.
See, that's more like it.
16.8.
That's the one
So
I take.
there's another wrinkle. Maybe you close them both and try them twice, which is crazy. It doesn't make any sense to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think Lyft is just trying to gouge you in the first run, and then it
I
knows
don't know,
better.
but keep going. I want you to get to the me part where I got stuck today.
Oh, sure. Okay, so I'm going to choose wait and save. So I'm going to double tap on that for the $5 fare.
Select wait and save. Pick up within 20 minutes.
Now I'm going to go down to the button that does the actual selection. So I'm going to come up from the bottom.
Select wait and save. Pick up within 20 minutes. Button.
The buttons, I do that.
Select wait and confirm pickup location screen. Heading.
So now I'm going to swipe. I'm on the heading, so I got to swipe to the right to go down. So let me do that.
Current rider. Me. Button.
So current rider
Double
is,
tap to change the currently selected rider.
so that's me. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So do you tap on it or not?
Let me just make sure.
Confirm current rider. Me. Button.
It's a button, so yeah, you just double tap.
to change the currently selected rider.
Right, there you go. So I would
Okay, and
double
then
tap.
what?
I don't know. I've never done that before. So
Keep going. And you selected it, and then it said close, and then it closed everything. Keep going. See what you got next.
You want me to double tap on that me button?
I don't know. I ended up not double tapping on it. So let's just try it. This is where I had the problem today.
Okay, let me double tap. See what happens.
Close. Button.
Okay.
Send a ride to friends.
See?
When you request a ride for someone else, we'll send them the pickup, ride, and driver info details in their Lyft app.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe you're not supposed to double tap on that.
Well, if you double tap on the button, you get this. And I guess you
I
can.
don't think you're supposed to double tap on it. I think that's my mistake.
Yeah, unless you're sending a ride to Patty, you don't double tap on me. You don't do that. That's only when you want to send a ride to somebody.
Okay, so you don't double tap on it.
That's right. You don't do that.
Okay, because see, I double tapped on it, then it said share the ride, and then you hit that close, and it closed the whole app down.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah, because it thought you were gonna send it to somebody else.
Oh,
So-
is that why it closes the whole app down?
I don't
Well, I
know.
didn't,
Let's try
I
it.
didn't
So
close it, yeah.
I'm going to close it with the X
Close button.
and see what it does.
Current writer, me.
No, it just put me back on the button.
Double tap to change
Okay,
the
that's
currently
the
selected.
family here. All right.
So maybe yours flipped out or did something weird like mine was doing right now. And then the rest is just standard fare. You just go down and verify where.
Well, but this one you can do the note for the driver.
That's right. So let's go down there. Let me just do that now.
Your new price is $9.66.
Now, here's a funny thing. It was $5, but since
Mhm.
I've been doing all of this, it raised the price. So I think there's some funny things going on with Lyft to double the price in 5 minutes. That's weird. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So here we go.
Pickup location 8,219. Add note for driver button.
So the good thing about Lyft is you can add a note for the driver. By the way, the other thing in Lyft that's really good is if you're a wheelchair person, you can specify that in your profile. You can't do that on the Uber app, but on Lyft, you can say that you're a wheelchair person and they know that. So just a side note. So if I want to send a note or do this thing here,
Add note for driver
send a
button.
note for driver, I double tap on that. And then I have some canned notes or I can specify some notes. Now in Barbara's case, she has a canned note that talks about she's blind with a cane and all this stuff. And she does a text replacement. She does, I think it's LY or something. I don't know what she types.
UD, it's UD, safe
UD. Yeah. And then when she
under
does
text
that.
replacement. But go to the customs if you want to do your own method.
Yeah, let me do that now. So let me go.
For a smooth pickup, add a note. Pickup note. Text field. Double tap to edit.
So I can
Swipe
just
up or
edit
down
that
to select
directly.
a empty line.
But hang on. Or I can go down and choose something like, I don't know.
Gate code button. I'm wearing button. I'm at the corner of button. I'm in front of.
And what that does, it sticks that text in there and puts you at the end of it. And then you can type in gate code. It'll say gate code. And you can type in 1, 2, 3 or something. So I'm going to do that.
But to do your own custom note, you have to go where?
Up to the text field, the very top.
Empty line.
Wait, let me get up there again. Hang on a sec.
Pickup note for a smooth pickup note. Text field.
So now I double tap it
tap to edit.
that
Swipe
note.
up or down to select a custom action. Insertion point at end.
Oh, you have to insert the custom option.
Right. So
Okay, that's the part where I got mixed up.
So I can dictate my note in here, just anything like, I don't know, I'm a lean, mean dancing machine.
Instead, I'm a lean, mean dance machine.
No,
That's
that
quite
will
a note
find
for your
you,
driver.
man.
When you put that in, then you can go down and say,
29. Add note for driver.
so
Button.
there's an add note for driver, and all that does, it just puts that thing I just dictated into the thing that's going to go to the driver. It doesn't go yet, of course, so do that. Now, if
8:36 p.m.
if I go down to where the stuff is, the pickup point and the note, it sounds like this.
Pickup location. I'm a lean, mean dance machine.
There you go. And if I hit this thing to book the ride right under it,
Request ride. But
if I do that, then
Then
it'll
you've
go
got the
out,
ride,
and then
yeah.
my driver will know I'm a dancing machine. So,
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm
thank you,
here, guys,
Danny.
whenever you want to throw a flag.
yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys, and I hope I got to a topic or two people would like to hear. So hope you're all right, and I guess thank you guys.
Thank you,
You're
Danny.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Okay.
Appreciate
All
your
right,
help.
sure enough, you'll get
Thanks,
the thing
John.
in the usual course of how we do things.
Yeah, appreciate that.
All right. Good night.
Bye, everybody.